Only players who are women are eligible to play in the NBA, but in the over 400-page document, it doesn't define what a woman is. It seems the answer of what they do now is pretty clear. Would you agree?
Well, you know, it's just astounding that the WNBA can't define the W in the name. And I think we're going through a very necessary conversation about who's actually eligible to play in some of these professional sports leagues, I guess on both sides of the gender spectrum. My goal is to help elevate the WNBA. I think the ticket prices and the attendance, will soar. I think the audience, the live audience will increase. And I think ultimately it's good for the game. It's going to help evolve the game. I mean, who would argue that, a player like myself or an Enes Kanter, or, in the future, maybe even, I don't know, a LeBron James, after he expires in the NBA, maybe he wakes up one day and realizes he's a woman as well. Who could argue that wouldn't make the women's game better?
So, listen, I don't know what to even say to that.
I know what to say. Let's bring it on. I want to see LeBron James versus that long blonde-haired chick down in the paint. Let's see if she can close neck LeBron James when he's doing a layup. That would be fun to watch. I'd pay to see that one, Eric.
You mean closed stomach?
No, yeah, close ankle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the new look.
Okay.
He's got himself a hairstyle to go with his aspiration. He said, "It came, y'all, my first week. Tomorrow I tested out on the court. This is my feminine era glow up. Did I slay? If y'all don't, yes, queen, you're transphobic. I really don't understand all the hatred. I just want to play some hoops with my fellow ladies."
Dude, it's going to be very interesting if these guys are serious about pushing it and not making it into a spectacle. This could be Boy Scouts versus Girl Scouts Part 2. I mean, how do they keep men out, first of all, legally, when the Boy Scouts of America could not keep out Girl Scouts from coming into the Boy Scouts and degenderizing that? I don't know how they can prevent these men from coming into just by saying it's the WNBA does not legally mean shit. You could say it's the Black League, and a white guy could try to get in and have a civil rights violation, controlled by Harmy Dillon in court. So this is not going to cut it. They have pretzeled themselves finally into a pretzel they themselves can't get out of.
What I love about it, though, and it's so sad, is whoever created the 400-page, whatever rule book or whatever, probably 40 years ago, 50 years ago, would never have even considered. They're like, okay, it's the WNBA. Obviously, first rule, you have to be a woman to play. They never thought there would be a Supreme Court justice who didn't know what a woman was. They could not see that far in the future. That, I agree. We first have to define what is a woman, and there's going to be an entire movie about that. It's going to be a bestseller. I mean, it's so hilariously bonkers.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy's playing around with the wig thing, or I was hoping that first there would be an actual trans person in the league as a precedent, Eric. You know what I mean? That somebody biologically male was on a team. I was hoping that would be the case just for the overall deal breaker. But if these guys are serious about going for it, they're just going to have to conspire as a league to not hire these two guys and let them go to court and sue, which I think is what's going to happen.
Right. Well, and that's where I said I love this, because one of two things is going to happen. Either they have to let them in. Obviously, they're going to qualify. Right. Obviously, meritocracy-wise,
oh yeah,
I guarantee they're better than at least some of the women.
No. That's not even a question. They have to head it off at the pass, though. The WNBA, they can't allow it to go all the way down in the paint, so to speak, and let them get down and post up physically, legally, and morally. They have to cut this off at the pass, at the mid-court line, to use some more basketball metaphors.
Exactly. So then they would have to just say, no, a woman has to actually gestate or be pregnant. So they have to go one way or the other.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like, and
this
this just
sucks.
boxes it and it fixes the problem either way. You
Well,
mock
it
them.
doesn't fix the problem because the trans woman is going to come along afterwards and say, I am a trans woman. I am a woman. Hear my cry, hear me roar. And I could play basketball. I played college basketball. I was on the junior Olympic team, whatever he was, as like a Bruce Jenner type. And then they're going to have to deal with that legally because
Well,
that's
guess
going to
what?
come down the pike too, Eric.
But then here's again, like I said, you have the WNBA. That is the women's league. That's the only one that's restricted. The other league is wide open.
Absolutely.
Trans players, male players,
A dwarf, a crippled, a guy in a wheelchair.
if they can qualify, they can
Anybody
play.
can try out. That doesn't mean you're going to get a look, but anybody can go into the hole, so to speak, and lay it up and be rejected or not rejected.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with baseball. I mean, they've had a million times, not a million times, but a number of times where girls have attempted to play at the major league level. They obviously it's never happened, but there have been attempts to do it. And guess what crushed them? The meritocracy.
For obvious reasons.
They didn't say you're a girl, you can't try out in MLB. They're not that stupid. They said, go ahead, try out, knock yourself out. We don't care.
Well, and to be fair, when I said about one being open and the other not, I believe now, I don't know if it's changed or whatever. There are, for example, female football players, American football players, especially when it comes to like kicking for field goals, punting, things like that. And it is conceivable that you might see a woman in the NFL if she can actually place kick really well. For example,
they'd have to have you see, those place kickers have legs, kicking legs that are like a redwood tree.
Sure.
So, I mean, even that becomes a problem for the female anatomy from the lower body strength of a kicker, who is, their legs are super, super strong, more than regular men.
Of course. But if you look at the anatomy and everything, women on the lower end and with the legs and things like that, interesting perspective on it too. For example, when it comes to not endurance, but ultra endurance sports, like, when you look at races that are 100 plus miles, you start to see women who are winning the overall races. Also swimming, they tend to be fantastic at swimming. Again, long distances. So there are some, sports that women actually can dominate in, even physically, if it's like an ultra endurance event. But either way, I like to see this. I think it's funny, and I hope it carries over to everything else. And I like to see more players do it. Add on to it, pile on the mockery every way. So it is what it is. And hey, Tomesco, go piss off. Or
What is this guy? What are you talking
I'm
about?
arguing for argument's sake. What are you talking about?
I don't know. All right, well, let's get going here. We don't have time for the WNBA all day. I'd love to spend the time with the WNBA because it's so much fun. But it's amazing. It's lost like so much money. It's been artificially, socialistically, communistically supported by the NBA up until I think this past year, and lost millions and millions of dollars for the NBA itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what league would support another league, ultimately taking eyeballs away from the NBA, because if you're a woman watching giant, good-looking men playing basketball, and all of a sudden those eyes have now been reduced and diverted to another sport, another league, what is the upside for the regular NBA? I don't get it. They've had attendance dropping, ticket sales dropping, playoff TV has plummeted, and now we're going to endorse another league just to really seal their fate.
Oh, by the way, the NBA subsidizes the WNBA anyway. So that's
what I said.
The first thing they do is they just say, drop it.
No. I'm saying from the beginning, they have supported them up until this year. So they have lost tens of millions of dollars, the NBA, in doing that.
Yeah, which is crazy. Well, maybe it'll go away. So, all right. While we're talking about hiding, main story. Trump apparently was hiding in a catering cart.
Secret Service leak.
Apparently.
What's
But
the
man,
point of the Secret Service leak? Other than to pat themselves on the back while giving up the security of the future for doing this. The only ones who could have leaked this was a secret. Again, it goes back to this fucking Secret Service, Eric.
I agree. It turns out it's on my birthday, but yeah, they leaked it so purely that literally it looks like they had photos of the event, which card it was, everything.
Yeah.
About this.
Well, to explain what Eric is talking about, the Trump got on the plane on the front, went to the back, and was lowered into the food cart truck, and then taken to Air Force Two because of some red alert. And then now the bitches who are in the press are belly aching that they were sitting ducks if there really was an attack, and Trump, I'm sure, chuckled about that one. I'm sure that was his biggest concern, to use them as decoys. They're now belly aching that they were decoys, Eric.
Oh,
how sad is that? But the real sadness is the Secret Service violating the sanctity of this operation, thereby negating it forever from ever being used again. Tip of the hat to the Secret Service once again for endangering the life of the president.
True. Now, I did notice there was a little bit of an irony. I don't know if you knew about this one. Somebody else in 2025 did something similar, and I don't know if they were inspired by it or what. But if you look here, a janitor cart was used to move somebody around at a concert in 2025, and that's actually Taylor Swift.
Okay,
and I just thought
that's where they got it from. I don't know. It might be a security thing that security forces do, generally speaking.
I'm sure it probably is, but I didn't know if people would remember that this whole stunt was done in 2025 with Taylor Swift. It immediately came to mind. I'm pretty sure that it has preceded both of them, like you said. Others may have done that. An example, I'm willing to bet that magicians do it all the time. Like, oh, they're standing all of a sudden behind the audience, and it's like, well,
okay, we're talking about security reasons here, not entertainment. The security,
it doesn't matter. It's still security. Taylor Swift is security, and now everybody goes, "Oh, you're arguing with Mark? How dare you?" But that is security.
Okay, all right.
Moving her around on the stage, if there's a possible threat, is security, and for entertainment or security, same procedure.
No. I'm saying for her, it is security, but not a magician hiding in a box as part of his act. I'm just saying, Swift, I get it. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The Trump thing makes sense too, but not anymore.
Right. But I'm saying that you probably learned it from magicians.
Oh, weird.
The same way as the CIA. I can show you the book, that they use magicians to do tricks for CIA procedures and things like that.
Okay.
So, either way, interesting times. And you're right. The trick has now been burned, and I don't know what they're going to do next. I don't know if you saw this troll, but I thought it was pretty hilarious. In New York, some sort of economic commission out of Florida, or like developers or whatever, have put up a billboard in Times Square, officially thanking the Economic Developer of the Year, Mamdani, in Times Square.
That particular billboard has been used to lampoon all kinds of different things over the years, including the city government and other things. But that's totally apropos. Good move. Whoever paid for that out of Florida might have been a wealthy individual. I don't know if the state paid for it, but somebody did. Who cares? It's a great stick in the eye to Mamdani.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sorry, it is hilarious. You couldn't even, and it's true. He's probably provided more money and more tax revenue
it started under
there and other places.
It started under de Blasio and then Adams, and now I don't know if people how many have left in the span of how long has he been in power for? Like 6 months or something?
Oh, yeah. What, January? So
Yeah. So yeah.
7, 8 months. Yeah, we're heading down into the year, but I love it. I love it. And you're right. Well, maybe he only won it this year, Mark. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it was Adams last year. Or
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it might have been one for Adams as well, because the 4-year term of Adams was the bulk of the people leaving. These are the billionaire stragglers now who are left behind.
The ones who didn't get the memo. Of course, you've got California showing the way. Well, we'll retroactively penalize you. So if you don't get out the gate at a certain date, you're screwed. Yeah,
they'll have Dog the Bounty Hunter go after you for the tax money in the middle of Alabama.
Yeah, it is a giant concern. But while we're talking about retroactive, I've talked about before about FCC and DJI and bans and things like that, right? We know about the drone ban. New drones are coming in. It actually applies to other cameras as well. But where things are a little bit different is they've passed in legislation now and policy that they're retroactively banning drones and equipment, or they're pondering it.
Wait, how do you retroactively do it?
You say, even though this drone was approved in 2023, it is no longer approved. It is in fact
the drone itself.
Correct. So you can't. This drone cannot be sold. Now, this is really important for anybody who owns drones. They're like, holy shit, I own that drone. Does that mean that I am banned? And technically, it's banned from sale, but it is not banned from ownership or usage. So if you already have it, you can continue using it. But essentially, they're looking at retroactively banning even the models that have been for sale and are currently for sale. So I don't know. If you want to get a drone, I guess you better buy it soon, or we'll see. We're going to see what happens on
the market, but okay.
But it's not that dissimilar. Like, I don't know why I never thought about it, but prohibition, it went into effect like January 1st. What was it, 1920 or 21? And then the question would be, well, then what happened to all the booze in the house? Well, that was still legal. You bought it, you owned it. It wasn't a big deal. And I came to find out that it was only the sale of the booze that was illegal, not drinking and not owning. So there were actually doctors that were prescribing booze at the time and other stuff like that. So I guess this is a similar scenario, right? It's like, if you already own a drone, then you're fine. If you already had booze, you're fine. So like Scott says, he uses his drone for medical purposes.
That's funny.
But anyway, update on that. I've got a couple of these that came in, and I feel like it's probably a good public service message, just in case anybody here has high blood pressure and is on medication. 11,000 bottles of this blood pressure medication has been recalled nationwide. And I don't know how to say the word, but it's chlorothalidone or corothalidone. I don't know, something like that. If it's a weird name and it starts with chlor, go look at your bottle and look it up. Make sure that your prescription hasn't actually been recalled. It's kind of scary because that took place like literally very recently, and like within a little bit later, another one was recalled, heart and blood thinner medication. So, and this is dabigatran etixolite. I don't know. I can't say anything works. But anyway, check your medicine. Make sure everything's okay with it if you're on any of this. I'm personally on high blood pressure medication.
Okay.
So I thought, it doesn't hurt to tell people that, hey, look out for this stuff. All right. We talked a little bit, and I think we had an opening with Brandon Francisca Hong.
Hong?
Hong.
Like Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Is it Hong?
Wisconsin.
How do you pronounce her name? Hong?
I think they say Hung, but
Hong.
it could be Hong. I don't know. I grew up saying Hong, and
you grew up saying Hong, like Hong Kong?
yeah, I did. I mean, that's how I always start. I also said Iran, and people go Iran.
No. But this is her personal name. I'm just saying I don't recall. I've heard like Kamala and Kamala. I don't know if she pronounces it the way you're saying it, or maybe she does. I've heard both. I've heard different
I haven't heard her introduce herself, so I will defer to you knowledge. Anyway, for whatever reason, AOC is, I guess, sort of supporting her, but not really. And Bernie is hiding from her.
Yeah.
But let me see. Here's AOC.
Candidates who have won. How do you get around that?
Yeah.
I mean, those are not positions that are supported by.
Right. I mean, I think that a lot of these races, even right now, they'll have a tendency to be nationalized.
Yeah.
But these races ultimately are local, and all politics are local. My understanding is that that Francisca Hong has made clear her present stances.
Well, this was after she froze her eggs, or what is this?
I don't know. Tell me about the egg freezing.
She said she froze her eggs. She put them on ice because obviously does not want to give birth with the current doofus who's her boyfriend. So she froze them for 2028 when she will accept the VP nomination from Gavin Newsom. Now, John Solomon has backed me up on this. He's saying AOC for VP. And a third pundit came out yesterday saying that he heard AOC for VP as well. So we heard it here first, but now other people are running with it. It's not a rumor thing. It's just a logic thing on my part. But that being said, she is trying to both have it both ways, to endorsing her or not endorsing her. And they've come up with this thing called Woke 1 and Woke 2. And Woke 1 was the crazy crap that was said during COVID. They are now attempting to distance themselves by saying that was Woke 1, and we disregard that now because we are up to Woke 2, which is much more rational and pragmatic. I swear to God, you can't make this up.
Well, it sounds like feminism. First wave, second wave.
Yeah, no, that's
wave.
where they got it from.
Is this waves?
That's where they got it from, and they can never admit they were wrong. So they're simply saying it was exuberance during Woke 1, and now Woke 2, the phase we're currently in, is much more pragmatic.
I see. Thank you for explaining that, because I heard something and I saw Woke 1, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
It's a phrase of some councilman that she knows who came up with it. So I think she gave the guy street credit for it.
Wow. I think I saw that she was interviewed talking about it too, but unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, you know what? I think maybe this is it right here with her talking about it.
Well, whatever. I mean, the election is today, and apparently some people think that Hung is going to win by 1,000,000 points, and some people think it's going to be a dead heat on a merry-go-round, kind of like the thing that happened last week where they were projecting El Said to win by 20 points. This is in Wisconsin, the governor's race Democratic primary for people listening at home. So that's going on today. She's got like a 22-point lead, but as people have pointed out, it's because these other Democratic candidates were corrupt and dropped out at the last minute, I believe. I haven't followed it that closely, but
yeah, they were talking about this morning that the main candidate had something go down. She had to go out, and then somebody else went out, and then somebody just slid in at the last minute trying to get there. And this is the Democrat who was just trashing her and just saying, yeah, she
just said she's not crazy. She's dumb. I think she's dumb and crazy. I think it's both.
Yeah, why be mutually exclusive?
No, I think she's crazy and stupid at the same time, even more dangerous.
Well, and they were talking about that too, because honestly, when they're worried about her being dumb or whatever, it's not the policies.
No,
it was pointed out that her policies are exactly in line with the rest of the DSA.
Oh no, she didn't make up these policies. quoting everybody else, end prisons, defund the police, do away with the presidency, and do away with the Senate. She didn't make that up. That's in the DSA bylaws.
But her sin is that she might lose, kind of like I said about Plattner. If Plattner was going to win, hey, no problem.
Open primary, by the way, Republicans being urged to cross over and are voting for her today, just so you know, people at home.
I heard, that they sent her some money too, that they were helping.
Yeah, I don't know about the money, but I like the actual votes. I mean, going into the ballot and in an open primary, Republicans and Democrats can cross party lines in Wisconsin. So this will be interesting.
Right. And the good news is that if she does pull it out, it might be the first Republican governor in a long time. Like the person she's running against says, ultimately the Republican has a real shot because she's so weird. But my fear is that people do that thinking, oh, we're going to help them out. And then that person winds up winning.
Yeah, she may win and Wisconsin may become, just some insane, crazy country like California. So watch what you pray for.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it with mayors already. How many mayors do we see all over the place? Start out in smaller areas, the crazy corrupt mayors, and now they're in the bigger cities. And great, we'll have an entire state. Well, that's scary.
Well, we do. It's called California.
Yeah, but then again, like Minnesota had Ventura back in the day.
Yeah, he was a populist. He was kind of a populist. He was kind of like a Schwarzenegger, right?
Kind of, but maybe he's gotten just more out there as time has gone by. But he's pretty radical dude. Anyway, I think this is AOC talking about what you were saying, the woke whatever.
Oh,
I have a local city councilman that has this saying woke one was crazy. And I think that what's important is that we have to assess what
was it. I mean, did the movement go too far with some of those positions?
No,
you briefly supported the idea of defunding the police.
Briefly.
Well, I think that during this time and especially during COVID, there was a huge opening of the Overton window. We were shut down. There was some of the highest unemployment rates that we have seen.
So we had to defund the police.
And I think that the doors were really open in trying to entertain any and every policy that was going to get us to a better place. And I actually think that the discussions that were had in that time were quite fruitful. I think
the riots
when we
and
talk
looting
about crime today, it's fundamentally different than the way that we talked about crime and bringing crime down, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we all share in the goals of having as low a crime rate as possible. I think that, during lockdown, of course, rhetoric in that time is not rhetoric that we would use today. And I'm grateful that these candidates have the opportunity to present who they are to their electorate and what they're campaigning on in this moment.
Okay, can we pretend for just a second? Let's just do a thought experiment. That the reporter, looks like it's a Sunday show, August 9th or whatever. Let's pretend for a second that this is a Republican and we're discussing a Republican's past positions. Would the interviewer be quite as charitable? Well, but was it really that? And he's practically holding her hand and patting her head and but things were different then. It's sickening. It is sickening. He would have been at the jugular, in my opinion. But I'm guessing that he believed in woke one as well.
Yeah, well, he's from ABC News, I assume so.
All right, but it's not only the left who has issues. Our favorite congresswoman out of Colorado is having some issues.
Dude,
with
his hair is on backwards. What's with that haircut? It's on backwards. What is that? A fucking wig? How old is this mutt?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Holy cow, it does look like that.
What kind of blow dryer do you need for that thing? You need like a DC-9 engine and get out on the runway from behind while it's still wet.
Yes.
What is he doing? Harassing girls now? What's the deal with this kid?
Apparently, his ex-girlfriend or whatever shared a video that he had filmed of her before she turned 18, leading to his arrest for child blank exploitation.
Really? That's
Yes.
no Romeo law? I mean, it's not like he's 43. It looks like he's 19.
That's true, but
He's 21.
It's not a matter of, how do I put it? It's not a matter of him being with her. If it's filming of her in a particular way, even if he was 17, he could be prosecuted. Even if it was her sharing it herself, they have been prosecuted for spreading material that's called CSAM, or underage material. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're right. They could technically be dating or whatever it is under the Romeo laws, but if you're sharing footage and pictures, well, then now you're into another category, and that would be a lot clearer, except it's YouTube.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So welcome to it. So we'll see what happens. He's been arrested on multiple felony charges for this.
How's she going to get him out of it?
I do not know, but you know what? This is his mugshot from 2024. Interesting.
When he was 19 or something. He was 19 then. Yeah.
Right. But this has been kicking around for a while, so I wonder if she's been suppressing it and it's starting to come out. Because I mean, he was arrested Sunday in Colorado, and the alleged offense date was January 1st, 2024.
Oh, so they're both. There's only one, and it's from 2024.
I guess so. And then now they're coming back around and grabbing him. Yeah, he does look inebriated, as somebody in the chat said.
Yeah, or on weed.
Well, okay, yeah, that could be. Speaking of inebriation, I don't know if you saw this. Probably will show up on one of your other shows.
Oh, it's so sad, bro. So dark.
I mean,
he went in for weed. Originally, he said it was weed, and that was his drug of choice. And now he has switched drugs of choice because a lot of people just stick a finger in the dike and then it springs a leak, so to speak, in another area with a different substance.
Well, it can't be helpful for all of the legal battles that he's in right now with Angelina Jolie. I mean,
this is going on. This is like a Johnny Carson divorce. I mean, this is taking years and years and years because there's so much money involved, so many lawyers battling to the death. I think this is going on 4 years, 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah, I kind of feel it. No, I think even longer, actually.
Maybe longer. I mean, at some point, I think Johnny Carson threw in the towel and just said, just settle this fucking thing. With his third wife, because it was just dragging on and on. But Joanna, that one, she got like 35 million and property up the kazoo. But it could have been worse. I mean, but he finally said enough is enough, which is apparently not enough is enough for Brad Pitt, because they continue to assault each other. He will now counter with her active heroin addiction, which I understand is still ongoing. So stand by for the counter blow from Brad Pitt regarding Angelina Jolie's heroin love.
Oh, okay. So it's heroin chic that she
for years. It started with Billy Bob, and this has been going on a long time.
I had a theory about their ongoing spat, and I could be completely wrong, but by delaying it as long as they have and fighting, they're letting every one of the kids grow up and then taking them out of the equation.
Well, they're taking themselves out of the equation by changing their legal names.
Well, there's that too.
They've already made up their minds. They're going with Angelina Jolie.
Right.
Some of them changed their names this past month from Pitt to Jolie.
True.
They're all adopted anyway. She's like the Mia Farrow of action stars. She's purchased many of these overseas.
Or Heidi Klum. I think Heidi Klum did it the natural way, but yeah, having the Benetton collection, like from every
Oh, that I
country
don't know.
culture?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Mia Farrow had, and some of them do that. They get a different one from different places.
It's almost like a collecting versus
Collecting version of
clearing.
collecting different for your personal zoo, human zoo.
Wow. All right. Well, while we're talking about adults and kids, we keep talking about teachers.
You know, it's amazing. Not only does it never stop, nobody ever says or does anything about it as a national phenomenon. There's no documentaries about it. There's no shows about it. I mean, they report it, and every single report is essentially the same. Young, hot, newly wedded bride who's a teacher going after young boy students. And you can debate why and everything else. But the point I'm making is these are thousands and thousands of cases. I mean, I've been covering this for like 11, 12 years, Eric. And yet nobody will say or do anything demonstrative about this phenomenon.
Maybe not entertainment wise or documentary wise or whatever else, but it appears Kentucky's doing something about it.
Go Kentucky.
Kentucky middle school teacher accused of crossing the line with a student arrested under a new anti-grooming law.
Right on.
So it appears what they're doing, and I'll have to get more, but she was arrested Friday afternoon and charged with grooming a minor, a Class D felony under a Kentucky law that just took effect weeks ago on July 15th. And what I understand the law to be is if they're considered doing something inappropriate, like having an inappropriate relationship, like not necessarily even having sex or whatever, and crossing a state line. So that they, and I'm surprised it's not federal, but anyway, it seems like they're trying to catch it early, like prosecuting them for starting a relationship before it turns into the full blown.
That's difficult to prove.
It is, and I think that's why they probably have the law, into effect, so at least they have something to go by. I don't know.
I think you have to have these kids wearing a wire, like 21 Jump Street. You got to have some kids going in there who are not teenagers, who are put into the school, who are young looking cops, and wear a wire and bust them open. You got to look at it like a police action, and they refuse to get involved with this. Even the schools. They go, she's been suspended with pay, or she's transferred to another school, or a husband is divorcing her, or she got 18 months in jail. I mean, but there's never any overall definitive action. It always seems like it's a one-off, but it's a one-off 10,000 times in the past 5 years.
True. And
it's very frustrating because, I mean, every single week there's 20 of these.
I agree. Well, and the part that I think is so frustrating as well is, again, flip the sex and say that as a male teacher, and there will be no delay whatsoever. No suspension, with pay, none of that. In general, it's, I heard a rumor, you're gone. It doesn't even get that far. They're
barely gone. They're barely gone. There's a reason that they are so obsessed about kids not filming them in class. It's like, so forget about the cameras in the classroom, which I've advocated for 5 or 6 years. They go batshit crazy if a kid, for whatever reason, fun or historical purposes, or he wants to capture the lesson, films them with his camera. It's the only place on the fucking earth where you're completely crushed if you film your teacher doing something in the classroom.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it.
Yeah. Speaking of cameras, have you seen that apparently they're now starting to fight against police cams?
Yeah, the flocking, or the deflocking, as I call it, is now happening all around the country. The politicians locally are now jumping on board in Beverly Hills and other small towns to get on board the populist deflocking movement.
Okay, well, that too, I wasn't talking about the flock cams. I was talking
okay.
about body cams on the police.
Okay.
That what has happened is a lot of the groups are trying to stop the body cams because when everybody wanted it, many people were under the assumption that that would mean that all the cops were going to be fired because the body cams were going to show how the cops were just, breaking the law all the time, doing wrong all the time. And what is happening is the body cams over and over and over and over, and I think it's starting to become a vast majority of the time, prove that the cops were actually correct and that the people were acting like assholes. And so now they're upset because
incident or something you're talking about, or
multiple incidents. I'll have to find some
not about the body cam. Is it something happened, pro or con about body cams all of a sudden?
Yes, the fact is that the prevailing factors. How many times have we seen body cams? There's entire channels of body cams now on YouTube showing a person being pulled over and mouthing off or doing this or doing that. And I even have done it in between the segments, people trying to get out of why they were pulled over by, lying by saying they have to crap, a million things. And what happens is that the body cams are actually supporting the police more than they're supporting.
I know, but why are you bringing this up now? Is there some story behind this particular thing, or?
It's a trend. It's a trend, and it's something I've been noticing.
Okay. But the flocking thing is what I was referring to, what's in the news now across the country, where people have taken into this vigilante stance of taking down the body cams. And now politicians, because they feel the prevailing winds blowing against these flocking cameras, have now began to turn against it politically and say they're going to remove them. So the vigilante justice has actually now led to politicians voting to get rid of the cameras. Not in Yosemite National Park, where apparently there's a flocking cam on every trail, Eric. I had no idea. There was an article, I think it may be torn from the headlines later in the show. But there's a story out of Yosemite National Park where there's cameras everywhere, and the hikers are not happy about it. So it's not just highway. It's not just for cars. Apparently now it's for people.
Okay. And I've shared stories on that too, like the town in New England that the city council literally voted them off and the mayor said, screw you, and I'll do it. And I have a story right here that's also on the flock cams. This is in Arizona, Apache Junction, and this is the sheriff talking about a problem with the flock cam that is coming up, and there are other stories, but I'll share this one.
On April 19th, we were made aware 2 different ways. This employee was looking for a family member, and he had actually called another jurisdiction, the city of Casa Grande, to report a welfare check. During that welfare check, he mentioned to the Casa Grande Police Department that he had used our license plate reading technology and had accessed it and saw that her vehicle was in Casa Grande. When that happened, Casa Grande PD notified our agency immediately and did everything they could to give us as much information. And at the same time, this employee had also gone up to our dispatchers and had asked for them to check the license plate reader as well to see if they could access it, to see if they can do a welfare, so he could do a welfare check on his family member as well. When this was done, the dispatchers notified the supervisor.
Anyway, so there you go, and we have that case. That's a license plate reader. That's probably technically not a flock camera, but it is in the family of flock.
Yeah, here
I
don't know, about these stories, but here in LA, that the license plate readers were declared illegal a number of years ago, so they're not allowed to use them on some trumped up charge that they would be pulling people over because of race or whatever. So they have to now, they don't have that tool in their toolbox.
Yeah, well, and partly I think because the police are abusing it. Some individuals who are cops or work with the department and things like that. And there are multiple cases. Now, this is not a license plate reader, but it does involve a camera. It involves somebody's Ring camera inside of their house. And it's a new kind of, I guess, squatting phenomenon. So somebody went on vacation and
Take a look at this surveillance video. Fox 5 has blurred this woman's face because police have not identified and charged her. But the couple whose apartment this is says they don't know her either.
I mean, we were like panicked.
This is Bill and Yellam Kim's Long Island City apartment. They live at Halo LIC. And they say the woman you see making herself comfortable on their couch is a total stranger.
I was in disbelief. I just could not.
so imagine that you're on vacation and
You got to call the squatter people on the Discovery Channel. Get them into Long Island City, where that apartment is, and get them out of there. You need the squatter removers.
I guess. I mean, that isn't unusual. They're walking around with the camera and everything else. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, when she
bonkers.
goes to the store, you show your lease in New York. When she goes to the store, you show your lease to the locksmith, who then comes in and changes the lock, and she comes back and she can't get in. It's easier in an apartment than it is in a house, in Beverly Hills. But the apartment thing is resolvable. I don't know where they are, but they probably went on vacation, I assume.
No, yes, they were on vacation. They looked at the ring, which, I mean, we have a camera in our house, which is never on when we're home, but when we're gone, the camera's on, and it's really a cat cam because I always get an alert. It's like, okay, somebody's at the food dish again. Because every time they walk by it trips it. But unbelievable. I would flip out if I'm on vacation and I see somebody walking around inside the house.
No, I would go back and do what I just said.
Right.
And I'll tell you the truth, I have. So that being said, I have done that. So that's why I know how to do it.
Right. And was it somebody who was a director?
I think of Monk. Yeah, he had rented my apartment and refused to leave. So I had to go back and change the locks and deliver his stuff to HBO.
Good times. All right. Now, this is a follow-up on one of the Torn for the Headline stories, sort of. We talked about on Tuesday using the rabbits to detect, I think there is AI to detect pythons in the Everglades. But apparently pythons aren't only in the Everglades. You sent me this. It's a python in New Jersey. Inside of a New Jersey family shed, they found.
Dude, look at the size of this freaking thing, and look at the size of his dinner.
Yeah, let's look at the clip here, and
dude, I would just jump out of my skin if I saw that.
Oh,
what is this guy doing? What's he doing?
Oh, okay. Is this how he found it? The floor? Oh, yeah, to pull the floor up.
He took the floor out, right?
Okay.
Look at this thing. Oh my God, dude, where's he going with that thing? Was maybe this guy's a snake handler?
Yeah, he's animal control. It looks like
animal control. Yeah, he ate an entire fucking possum.
Well,
That's a giant and totally intact possum inside of his gut. What do they do? Fly him first class back to Burma?
No, probably some sort of a local snake farm. But here's the X-ray showing the possum inside.
Oh, poor possum. Dude. Jesus, I feel so bad for that thing. Get eaten completely by that snake.
Well, I'm hoping that it was constricted and it was not alive when it was consumed.
Well, they don't, they could take it dead or alive.
Well, yeah, I know they don't care.
They don't care. A meal's a meal.
And yeah,
I think they also revoked the visas of about 10,000 Burmese students or something this week. I don't know if I sent you that also, but it may be torn from the headlines when we get over to locals.
Okay. Yeah,
some Burmese students who overstayed their visas got sent back to Burma.
Well, we probably have a lot of, we focus on, some countries, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of countries that have people who.
Well, this was one of them. It was a huge number of Burmese.
Okay. Now imagine that they do an audit, and you might get other, cohorts or what have you. All right. Did you ever watched Dukes of Hazzard back in the 70s?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, that was my
For
favorite.
one reason. I mean, it was only one reason. Now it's for Daisy Dukes, as everyone knows.
Oh, I thought it was for jumping cars.
No, couldn't care less.
Honestly, I didn't care about Daisy Duke, but maybe because I was 6 and 7 years old. I
Well,
like
I'll
the
tell you
jumping
something.
car.
My friend Kenny Wayne Shepherd has one of the cars with the Confederate flag on the roof, I must say, the last time I saw it.
One of these?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there might be 7 or 5 or something, but Kenny Wayne Shepherd has one.
Yeah, if I recall, I've read before, like all the way back in the 80s and 90s, that they destroyed so many of this model, it actually became a pretty rare car in any form, because the show would just go by them over and over and over, because it was real effects. They didn't do CGI or anything.
Yeah, it's the General Lee, by the way.
But anyway, Cooter, Ben Jones, became a congressman. Ultimately, he just passed away.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Wow.
Yep. I don't remember how long he was a congressman, but let me see. He lost in 86, but he won in 88.
Didn't he switch parties or something? Or he was a Democrat?
Let me see. He was a Democrat and he challenged Swindle, came up short. I think he's still a Democrat. Got reelected. He was beat out by freaking Newt Gingrich.
Oh,
I
that
did
could
not
happen.
realize that.
In the Tea Party movement, I think, right? 1990-ish.
Well, 94, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I always knew that, when the Dukes of Hazzard guy wound up being a congressman, but I did not realize that, to be replaced by, somebody, Newt Gingrich, that's a pretty strong thing. Oh, and Dustin saying that he ran again later in Virginia.
Well, he just kept moving around. He had the General Lee, jumped in it, went to Virginia and ran there.
Yeah, well, Bovert,
Well, somebody said that Pete Buttigieg has set up residence in Michigan now, across the border from Indiana, because of the Michigan presidential primary.
Okay.
Boy, that's planning ahead.
Yeah. I don't know what his game is. I just don't even know where does he fit in the
He fits
team?
as a VP if you're looking for a moderate Dem and you're on the top
Kamala.
of the ticket. Right. If you're at the top of the ticket and you're further left, he is there to be abused, Pete Buttigieg. And there's no masculinity. There's no threat. He doesn't overshadow you. He's shorter than you. That's his lane, so to speak.
Fair enough. But you know what? That reminds me of AOC and the VP stuff. And the eggs. I'm kind of wondering, it's like, how cynical is she? Do you think she would try to become pregnant while running, or is it I'm going to freeze my eggs so that way I don't get pregnant, I can serve the term, and then afterwards I can have the kids?
Usually they freeze the eggs for later usage. In general, I don't know about actual elections. I've never heard that one, but who knows? It could be possible.
Well, the New Zealand prime minister, made a lot of mileage out of being pregnant and being the first prime minister. And we're in the day of first. I mean, think about it. The first
could very well be. She inserts eggs after South Carolina primary, pregnant by end of week.
Just saying, it would be it's like, oh, you can't attack her in the debate. She's pregnant.
Well, there's recent news story this week about the vaccine having dire effects on pregnant women. Boy, this story is put Fauci in a whole new area.
I agree. An interesting one too, because it affected a lot of Democrats too, who have been carrying his water, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Huh? Meghan McCain apparently is lashing out. And I think she actually may have, let's just say she miscarried at the time that this is all going on. And you can't say definitively, and many others have too.
It was mandatory to take it. As Larry O'Connor said, his daughter was in the military and she was mandated to take the vaccine. If she had been pregnant, she would have been kicked out of the service for not taking the vaccine while pregnant, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't recommended; it was mandated. They're trying to gaslight us now, saying it was recommended for pregnant women. It was not recommended; it was mandated.
Yep, I remember.
And the VAS system apparently has tens of thousands of these miscarriages on the record.
And
then he knew about it, and then Fauci knew about it,
which is just so dark.
Yeah, I mean, he could have easily said, "We're not sure about pregnant women." You know, I mean, that's not a difficult ask.
No,
obviously. But they didn't. They didn't. They didn't. They intentionally said, "Fuck it."
Mm-hmm. And I remember at the time too, they were pushing hard to try to get the kids vaccinated.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And children were among the, if we really look at the effects of COVID, people who were, in their 70s and above were absolutely at risk. I know Dr. Drew talked about a lot, saying, his older patients, there was value there. And there was definite risk there. But children were the exact opposite. It was, unless they had some sort of a weird condition or some sort of weakness, it was actually more harmful than it was helpful. And it's sick. And then you think of the pregnancy situation. It's like, oh, so what? Who's it for? Mom or the infant? Because the infant's going to be fine.
Well, now the people who work for RFK Jr. have apparently found the actual cell phone, a government-issued cell phone of Anthony Fauci. First, they found his account with his emails and the AKA diary within that account. Mm-hmm. Now they've got the actual phone, and in the phone are the text messages that Eric is referring to, I believe.
Yes, and I forgot who has it. Is it Mike Johnson?
Now Johnson has it, yeah, but it came out of HHS, again, with his arch nemesis, his Batman to his Riddler, RFK Jr., his people have come up with the actual cell phone. So tip of the hat to RFK Jr. for pulling this thing out of oblivion.
Okay, and I'm sorry, it's Johnson, Ron Johnson, though.
Yeah, Ron Johnson.
Not Mike Johnson. I just want to be clear.
No. Ron Johnson
and Rand Paul has it too.
Yep.
Or a clone of it. So
yeah.
And I think it was Rand Paul that released the text about the pregnancy.
He did, and this is going to be a gift that keeps on giving for at least a month, I believe.
Yes. Uh-oh. Dustin just wrote in, this explains the eggs. TMZ has confirmed that AOC and her fiance Riley split after years together. And
that makes sense, Dustin. Yeah, I was wondering why Girl Boy had not done the job himself, but apparently she had enough of this weak sauce guy and has kicked him to the curb and frozen her eggs.
Apparently. So it should be interesting.
I mean, his nickname was Pussy Boy. I don't think if that's a real good nickname, Eric. Pussy Boy?
I think I missed that one.
Yeah, that was his handle on Instagram, Pussy Boy.
Okay. Yeah. I missed that, the memo on that one. All right. You and I have talked before. I think we both share the same paranoia when we're driving down the interstate. And that is
Twisters?
Trucks.
Oh, trucks.
Like if I'm coming, I never.
Oh, yeah. I don't like
and
that.
To me, the blind spot for a truck is a quarter mile behind and 500 meters, ahead. Maybe not quite that far, but I am that way. I'm like, and I just hammer it to go, woo, get around. I just want to get around them, or I say way the hell back. I'm just paranoid about that. And I think you've said before too, you don't like hanging out near trucks on the road.
No, and I drove back from Phoenix yesterday on the 10 with a CL Mercedes coupe rental, not my own, and holy shit, was that like the Batmobile. I was doing 100 all the way, weaving in and out of trucks on the 10 from the time I left Phoenix to LA. It was a great ride, and I was doing a lot of the weaving at high speeds, which was a lot of fun.
I see.
But for the same reason,
hoping there were no flock cameras, correct?
There were no cameras, and nobody. You get the notice that police are up ahead, so you kind of like take your foot off the pedal a little bit. But holy crap, did I go crazy with that car yesterday?
All right. Well, this is an example of why I am nervous about trucks. Just going down the road. No problem. Oh,
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, I saw one of those on the 10 yesterday from the night before. They were cleaning up the wreckage of it from the night before. He had flipped over and the entire side was cut open of the rig.
yeah. Let's see that again.
You know, one time when I was in high school, I used to go with this guy to deliver panels, office panels, dividers for offices. We had like a cube truck, and we would go from Long Island to New Jersey. And he was some old black guy, and I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17. It was a summer job out of this factory. Then we would deliver the panels. And, you know, I'm half asleep, shotgun seat with the guy. And I look at the overpass and I go, not going to make it, bro. Not going to make it. And the cube truck gets wedged in underneath this overpass in Newark, New Jersey. And we were there for 2 days because they couldn't find us. And the roof of the truck was ripped off and it was wedged in underneath the overpass. And we went to, just to get something to eat, we went to Ma's all-night soul kitchen in Newark, New Jersey. And we were told that nighttime ain't no time to be in Newark by mother of the soul kitchen. But we had no choice.
And it sounds like a song, and then you said "Mother of the Soul Kitchen." Sounded
yeah.
Like
Ma's all night soul kitchen. Ma herself told me that nighttime ain't no time to be in Newark. Not that I had any choice, but at least this guy was an old black guy. But we had to wait for a tow truck for 2 days or a day and a half until they found us underneath the trestle there.
Ouch. We have where I live in Hampton, we have the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel that goes across, and there's problems that, you know, you'll get a truck and they misjudge it, and then they get jammed in the tunnel right at that point. I know that I think that's part of the reason for the weigh stations and things like that too, is to
there's a height issue.
Measure the truck, and you know, but not only weight, but also look at the height and say, hey, you can't go up ahead. You got a bridge here. Whatever.
That I don't know, but they clearly print the height on every overpass. But again, if you're a foreign truck driver, you may not be able to read that.
Exactly.
You may be looking for meters or some other language.
And we don't know if that was a foreign driver or not. It's possible, but boy, that is a deeply scary subject. Now, here's an interesting one. I appreciate anybody taking initiative, right? And, you know, something's fallen on an interstate or, you know, whatever, and they go clear it out. You know, good on them. But this is taking it to a whole new level. A couple porta potties.
Oh man!
On the interstate here, I think it's the interstate, and you can see all the traffic going by. Some dude pulled over, goes, grabs the porta potty.
Wow!
And he's pushing the damn thing off the road.
Good Samaritan.
I mean, this truly is a good Samaritan. This is one of those I have to ask you. Would you pull porta potties off of the interstate?
I wouldn't pull anything off the interstate. It's every man for himself.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I would stop if it was a dog and try to do something.
But
other than that, it's every man for himself.
Yeah, I mean, and it's amazing too. He left his van just sitting there too. I'd be like worried my vehicle would get clobbered when he was out there.
Oh, how's that one moving? Oh, he's getting the other one too.
Yeah. He dragged him.
I didn't see him there.
Yep. This is a true good Samaritan. So good on that. So that is our good deed of the day. Porta potties on the interstate. Now, this is kind of a business news type of story, but I don't know if you remember. I don't know how many years ago, but several years ago, Burger King fell from number 2 to number 3.
Yeah.
And Wendy's actually passed Burger King. And I was kind of shocked because my entire life, Burger King was number 2. Now, obviously, McDonald's is number 1 and Burger King was number 2. Then Wendy's passed it because Burger King fell. I guess times are changing. And Wendy's is having huge problems.
Wow.
And they're closing restaurants left and right. Just the first part of this year, they closed 289
What?
restaurants.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
289, which is now they have 5,700 Wendy's, but that's almost 5% of the restaurants
big chunk.
in 1 year. And they kind of reported it during their earnings call, almost as an aside. And I sort of wonder if it just goes to show that things can change. I think I showed you the video clip of the McDonald's CEO that was introducing the new sandwich, and he was like going to take a bite out of it, and he looked like he was going to just puke. Like he could never eaten anything. And then the Burger King CEO was like, "Oh, this is how you eat it." Well,
Oh, right. Yeah.
the new Burger King CEO has really been making some waves. And I don't know if it's last year or the year before, but he gave out his actual phone number to the public. And he's taken 86,000 calls.
Wow.
But it might be working because Wendy's just fell to number 3. Burger King is back in as number 2. And while Wendy's market share was plummeting, Burger King had a massive bump this year. I think they said it was like around 8% growth. So I don't know. It's an interesting story. If anybody is into fast food, I don't know how things are going to shake out, but I guess my child is back. Burger King is back to number 2 again. And there we are. So let me see. Now I had I guess our weekly story or every show story, what's going on in Iran. And the latest is Trump outlined strategies against Iran. He says the U.S. controls Iran's money. And they're financially destitute. Everything is going to hell. And
I don't disbelieve any of it. I think the only military way to do this is the way he's doing it. Whether American people will stand for it is another question. But I think this is the only way to. They seem to want it every which way but loose. Like close to 70% of people, Americans, both parties, don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. But magically, it's supposed to disappear. They don't want boots on the ground, so he's not put boots on the ground. They don't want the price to raise $1 a gallon of gas. So now, I mean, they want it every single way. And I think this is the only way to do it. And unfortunately, it takes time to strangle them because he takes his foot off their neck and says, are you crying uncle yet? And he's putting out all this verbiage to keep the story going and explaining it. So that's becoming repetitive to the American people. And the messaging has obviously become a problem. But I don't think any of the military things that he's doing are wrong in terms of strategy, I mean.
I'm not going to disagree. And part of what I find interesting is I thought we'd be suffering more. Like,
me too.
I actually feel like the midterms are in play.
Yeah,
still,
I agree
that it's not a lost cause. That there's real contest
because of the gerrymandering and other factors. You're right, Eric.
And also, I feel like a lot of people just don't care.
I don't think they care, and people have been gaslit to forget that Biden's national gas average of points was $7.50, and there was no war or bombing of Iran at that time.
Yeah, so
he was using up the prudent reserves. I mean, nobody seems to remember this.
That's true. And but what I'm and I think maybe that's where we're going. It's just like nobody's really thinking about Iran that much. They're not focused on it. They're, dare I say, bored of it. I know that sounds terrible.
No, it's not a question of being bored of it. But when you have a blockade, there's not on. First of all, there's no boots on the ground. There's no firefights. which is all good. You've got a slow strangulation with a naval blockade that goes back to, John Paul Jones with the Navy. It's a slow way of strangling another country to death, which is what is happening. People want it over to, for them to, surrender. But eventually they're losing so much money here every day, Eric.
Right. And what I'm saying, though, is I kind of felt more pressure before, and I meant the public is kind of bored of it and just doesn't seem to be responding that much. I mean, we're talking a lot more about frozen eggs and crazy socialist candidates, which, thank God, the Democrats possibly having a civil war inside. And I just feel like Iran is not a top 3 headline story.
No, because
he's managed to keep it down there, and maybe he can ride this out.
For the reasons that I mentioned, this is not a never-ending war. There are no boots on the ground. This is not Afghanistan. This is not Iraq. This is a military bombing. There was obviously no naval blockade in Bosnia, but it's the equivalent of what Clinton did to Bosnia. Now, you could say that was a wag the dog, and you may be a friend of Barry Levinson and Dustin Hoffman and a fan of that movie. But nevertheless, this strangulation by naval blockade takes months and nothing's happening, which is good. You know what I mean? There's no incidents. They are trying to negotiate with them while strangling them economically. Again, I don't know what else you could possibly do other than what he's done. I mean, the only thing I would have suggested was to do it after the midterms, which I believe was a blunder to do it when he did it. But that cat's out of the bag. And now we've got the situation where, like Eric said, there is no news every day. It's just the slow strangulation of their economy.
Right. And I'm saying it's very fortunate, that it hasn't, percolated back up to the top. And as long as that's going on, then maybe it'll work. Maybe this can, eventually suffocate them to the point where they have to.
I think so.
Give in. But it is surprising. It really is. I have this clip here. We've been talking about, some of the car chases and things like that, and the pit maneuver. And we've got
a pit maneuver. Love the pit. It should be in the Olympics. It should be in the Olympics, the pit maneuver.
Well, this is a great pit maneuver, complete with some dialogue. I mean, this is an entire takedown. Fun show here.
Yeah, of course I would have ran. Bad you know boy. I would have ran. So you did do something.
What a piece of shit. What a fucking piece of shit.
That's why I had to share that, because he's like, of course I ran.
Yeah, of course. What do you expect from me? I'm a criminal.
Oh my God. Anyway, so there we go. We got a good demonstration of a proper pit maneuver.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah, good point. However, here is something that you could try at home with a lot of training, and it's completely other way. Figure skating with dogs.
Oh my God. Whoa. Look at that bug. Whoa. That's amazing. I guess it works for small breeds probably better than a Great Dane.
Yeah, I could only imagine how long it took to
train them.
Oh God, yeah. Now, public service message out your neck of the woods in California. In Southern California, a woman says she caught a man secretly recording her under a Nordstrom dressing room stall with a phone hidden in a crumpled shirt.
What else is new?
Yeah, she confronted him, but he fled before the police arrived and remains unidentified. So I'll show this just in case.
Public service. Let's see if we can find this guy.
Yeah, let's see. But here we go.
Anybody recognize that hand?
Hold on, there's more. But what a scumbag maneuver. I mean,
well, it's better than the dollar store in San Diego.
He said, Justine. Oh, I don't have the angle.
Not recording.
You're fucking recording me.
I'm not. I'm not recording.
Holy shit, he's recording me. He's recording
I'm
me.
not.
I got a fucking video of it. In the dressing room.
Oh my God.
It looked like he was recording him. So everybody, go ahead and take a look here.
I think that's why he's hiding his face.
That's normally how you walk around, right?
Right.
No,
I mean, I
just,
guess maybe those videos have a lot of monetary value. It might not be perversion. It might be just financial gain.
it could be.
I mean, they might be worth a fortune.
Of course, this guy kind of looks like a million.
Yeah, he
people.
looks like a perv anyway, but there's still a manhunt for the perv at the dollar store, which we'll cover in the torn from the headlines on Locals. I don't want to get into it here. It's a little unusual.
Okay. Well, and we'll be getting to that really soon.
Yeah.
By the way, quick note on this guy. It looks like he has a pretty large gauge earring on his right ear, which probably will help identify him as well. That's,
I see. Good point.
That's something distinctive, just so people know. Because otherwise, he looks kind of nondescript to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not an expert on that. But anyway, what a guy. And then our governor here in Virginia, I'm happy to see this, just like, Mamdani and Staten Island. This is Spanberger in rural Virginia.
Community and coming together on this fantastic final day of the convention. Thank you so much and enjoy.
Was it raining there?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. Anyway, that was Galax.
Galax. Wow. Oh, that's where it was. I thought that
was
Galax,
Virginia. Yeah. Rural area. Anyway, the
guy with the bat was great, Eric. This is
Tommy Robinson shared this. It's unbelievable because in England apparently it's illegal to buy a bat.
Where did he buy the bat? I thought he went into the store.
Yeah, it's a sports store. It's right there.
Right.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Are you filming it? I'm meeting my friends. Do videos, mate. Videos on town.
Huh? Look at this guy. What was he doing there?
Hey, protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Mate, what have I done? Protect yourself.
What is this guy doing with him?
I don't know.
Hey, don't. I'm not fucking shocking. Don't. Is it out of his packaging? Is it out of his packaging? No. Is it out of his packaging? It's in package, you idiot. It's in package, you idiot. It's in package, you idiot.
What is he saying?
It's in the package, fella. It's in the package.
Oh, it's still in the package?
Yeah. Apparently the bat had a tag on it.
Right.
It's
He
literally
just
in the
bought it,
plastic
right?
covering, so it was obviously just bought. And he's getting
So you could sell baseball bats, you just can't buy them.
apparently, or you can't leave the store. I guess
Well,
you have to offer delivery.
I don't know. I don't know. How do you get it out of the store for your softball game?
I have no idea, and I didn't know they were illegal. Good God!
I didn't know they played softball in England, so there's a double plot twist for me.
And what a pathetic display of the cop too.
Terrible.
I mean, I was just sitting there going, and I'm sure it's just a small male, but I almost thought it looked like somebody trans hanging on him.
I don't know. The guy wasn't even resisting arrest. He was just in a bear hug.
Yeah, he was walking around.
I mean, the guy wasn't fighting him.
Yep.
What a bunch of just an absolute complete destruction of the British police forces.
They're definitely done. Very, very sadly. But you know what will make me feel better is we have a couple super chats before we head on over to Locals, where we've got a lot of story. You sent me a lot of torn from the
Yeah, well, I was out of town. I missed a few days, and so I was catching up.
Yeah, it's a lot. So we'll start out with.
I mean, take as many as you want. You don't have to do them all.
Well, it's Locals. People, come on over and hear about it.
You can save some for Friday.
We got a Rumble Rant from King of Biltong. Did you know that Biltong makes exceptional travel food, clean, protein-packed, grass-fed, air-dried beef with great flavor? Go to biltongusa.com and use code AUS for 10% off. Did you take Biltong with you when you were headed to Arizona and back?
I did not, but I did take a lot of coolers with cold drinks because it was 115 every single day. And I got to, I was in an air-conditioned hotel, but also the stadium has a dome, which is the only reason I went. But 115, I'm not used to 115. I mean, there were zombies in the streets. I don't know if there was like a Mad Max thing or something, but there were people just wandering around. It looked like they'd come from the planet Mercury in Phoenix. So glad to be back here.
I can imagine. And
115 is insane. It was 115 every day.
I know. And I heard this crap when I lived in Tucson, and I leave Tucson. Everybody's like, well, at least it's a dry heat. I'm like, yeah, so is a convection oven. Are you going to go stand inside?
It felt like a convection oven. Yeah.
It does. And they're like, oh, if there's a breeze, and a breeze feels like a hairdryer.
Yeah, that's true.
It is brutal. It is brutal. People, they just can't even comprehend it. Worse than Phoenix barely is Fort Irwin, California. That is about as hardcore as you can get. It's 115 by noon, or not even noon, by like 10 a.m. And they'll get over 120 there all the time. And that's just brutal.
Well, we still lost 2 out of 3, so the whole trip was disappointing.
Wow. What a shame. What a shame. But you're still leading the league, right?
We're leading something. I don't know where it's going, but we'll have to stay with it. It's the dog days of August, my friends. Good luck to the Brewers this week. They're coming into Dodger Stadium. It's going to be a great series.
All right. Dr. Evil said, Honey Rider, the first Bond girl.
That's true. That is true.
And obviously it's your Dr. No shirt.
Hold
on. You want to show people, or
I don't know. I can't.
All right. William Radcliffe. Can states do something criminally to Dr. F on the pregnancy thing via these fetus laws? I don't know.
Give it a shot. Get a DA, get a jury of pregnant women, and roll the dice.
Yeah, you got a couple attorneys general who are already doing some things. So why not? I mean,
who gives a shit? What's it to them? They'll get you reelected. I mean, what's the downside? He wins. Big fucking deal.
Exactly. And even if he does,
there's no downside.
No, not really. I mean, just say I went after him.
I went after him.
And I've worked within the system. I don't let it go.
Right.
I lost.
I thought I had grounds for an indictment. The grand jury agreed with me, and go forward. I mean, the grand jury could say no, and that's the end of it.
I agree. That makes total sense. And we have Pamela here, and Pamela has medical things going on. I want to wish her luck with the medical things in her family. But thank you, Pam. You're very, very supportive, and we always appreciate it. And
I use her cooking spray every day, I swear, because of my loyalty to her.
There you go. Every time.
Every day. Pam is in my life. Every day.
Pam is coating his pan.
Pam is part of my lifestyle.
And there you go. And moving on with the rest of our lifestyle, we are heading over to Locals, where we will be doing our world famous, in our mind, segment called Torn from the Headlines. And I hope you all consider unstructured.locals.com. You can be a member for free, and you can support us. Or, you could just say, oh, hell with you. I'm never, ever going to follow you. I'm not going to do anything. I don't care about you. And in a couple of days, we may share some of Torn from the Headlines with you here on YouTube. I don't know. But people really are liking that. And we will keep doing it. So I hope to see you there to catch it fresh and live.